Hello, welcome back to Popper's Pastimes. It's been a while since we've been here and done one of these videos, but we're back in the workshop and we're just doing a quick video on this new, basically it's a glass pack. I think it's a multi-purpose type thing because I've seen photographers and other people using or reviewing this product. But I picked it up from the Stalking show last weekend, just gone, and I bought it really as a replacement for my Vortex glass pack. My Vortex glass pack's brilliant, but what it doesn't do is it doesn't have much capacity for anything else. What I do have on there is some little mesh net type things on the side where I can put some lens cleaners. But over and above that, there's not a huge amount additional space that you can realistically use. So I wanted something that I could, as you can see on the box here, that I could put my thermal on, but also carry some additional things. As you can see, I'm a glasses wearer. Doesn't bode well for stalkers, to be honest. Can't see massively great at distance, so I'm fairly reliant on using binoculars when I'm out in the field. Now, what I do with my binoculars is I tend to have them on my glass pack, and then when they're out and I'm using them frequently, I just leave them to dangle. I don't keep putting them back in the pack every single time I've finished with them. It would be a bit of a nightmare to do that because purely, especially being a glasses wearer, I'm on my binos quite frequently. So I'm just going to go through what this has got. There's a brief description on the packaging here. It says that it's got the quick detach thermal carry system, which I'll go through. A comfort all day harness, which most glass packs have got, to be fair. Storm cover, which is inside the back pocket. A large front pouch that fits multiple sizes of binoculars. The side storage pouch, mole loops, large front pocket, and as you can see there, removable pack at the bottom. Now this is the box. It's not in the box, it's here. So I'm just going to bring this across and you can take a look at how I've got it set up at the moment. I've not used this. It's not been out in the field. Today is Tuesday, I think, and the Stalking show was last Saturday, so I've not had a chance to get it out. I can't really give you a practical review, having used it in the field for any amount of time. So I'm just going to go through what it is out of the box and how I've got it configured. The material itself feels great. It's not waterproof, but it does have a rear zipper at the back. If you open the rear zipper, in there it's got a rain pouch, and you basically just use that to cover everything. Now the pouch is big enough to cover your thermals. It just feels, to be honest, like a typical Pack-A-Mac type thing. So how good it is, I don't know, but at the end of the day, most of my equipment's waterproof or IP rated anyway, so it's not a massive issue. It has at the back a little pouch, and it's fairly well padded there as well, so I should imagine if you've got something that's quite bulky in your bino pack, that you'd be fairly well padded from that. It's got a couple of little clips which are here for the harness, but what I do like is these additional tabs that you've got on the zippers. Makes them easy to grab, especially when you're wearing gloves. So you know, it's been fairly well thought out. On the side, like the Vortex, it's got again a little pouch, probably useful for keeping lens wipes in, that kind of thing. So moving on to the front and the side. Now the side thing is where you've got your quick detach for your thermal. I don't know how well you can see this. I'll take it off, but what you do have is a little switch. Now the switch locks it, which means it can't be depressed and you can't get your thermal off. So whilst it is a little bit different from some of the other devices that I've got where you do a quick release and it's like a physical button, this is a slide button and you push it down. So just to push it down and then slide it up and it comes off. So that gives you a better view of what that is. These two knobs basically unscrew, and it's got an aluminium back plate which basically holds it into this what is a slightly wider strap, slightly wider than the mole, I would say. But it does allow you to lock it so that you can't depress your cam, which is the release for your thermal or whatever attachment you've got on there. and if you slide it across to unlock, you can see that the cam actually moves. So that's that. I'm not sure if you can buy these separate. You probably can. I'd be very surprised if you can't. But it's quite a useful little tool. I quite like it. I think it's quite handy. So when you finish using your bino, you just drop it back on there, and it slips down and clicks. Now, once it clicks in, you can't get it out unless you push that button. But I dare say that in the field, people probably could accidentally catch this and maybe release it. I don't know. I've not used it in the field so far, so I've no idea what this is like to use with gloves. I've no idea about how it works when it's wet and it's cold and stuff like that. So it's basically a very quick overview. My thermal is reasonably waterproof. I've got a slightly different cap on it because I wanted to be able to close it so that I didn't get water on the rear aperture. And so I had this custom made. If anybody's interested in seeing what this is, or how I've had it custom made, so it actually fits really nice and neatly onto this Lynx Pro LH25, then just let me know and I'll do a quick video on it. It won't take 5 minutes. The opening for the glass pack is magnetic, so across there you can actually feel them if you run your fingers through. There are some magnets which are sewn into the fabric, and if you watch, it's a fairly robust fixing. You open that and then you've got access to the glass pouch. Inside you do have some foam pads which inhibit the space, so they make it a bit smaller. Very similar to a kid's bike helmet, you just have the additional padding in there. I've taken them out because it's very cosy with these Vortex Furies in there. And if I just drop them back in, you can see that it's a reasonable fit. It doesn't have additional straps on here so you can leave your binos to dangle, but that's not going to be a massive hardship to add. So I'll just do that. I'm not going to whine about that. What I do have is in here, I've put, just for testing for size really, a battery bank. It's a solar one which I use, and I've had this a couple of years. I think it's actually on its way out because it's starting to feel like it's blown a bit, but it fits nice and neatly in there. So if I did find that I needed to recharge my device or my phone or something like that, I've got it. It does add extra weight. Obviously, if you're out stalking and you're carrying kit and you want to be working as light as you possibly can, then in all honesty, you're probably not going to be taking a glass pack anyway. You're dangling them around your neck. Take your thermal and your rifle, and just your Grelikin kit. So I'm not overly worried too much about that weight, because when I do go, if I'm going, I'm only going a couple of miles. It's not like I'm stalking 12-15 miles a day. So that's the front pouch. The side pouch has got basically, I think it's like a glasses shape to it. You could quite easily fit a glasses case in there. What I've put in there is I have an adapter for my tripod sticks, and what this does is it allows me to click it on, and then I screw my binos onto there, and I've basically got a platform just for my binos. I'll keep that in there just so I know where it is. I don't necessarily use that whilst I'm out stalking, but I do use it when I'm shooting long distance, and I do use these binos when I'm shooting distance, because the 5000 ABs will go out to the distances that we're shooting. I can quite easily range a target at 2000 meters, and so it works well for that. All I basically do is just take the thermal off. The next thing that I've got underneath is the detachable pouch, and again, it's something, if you're not keeping glasses in there, but because I do wear glasses, I do tend to try and keep them in a box while I'm out and about, because I really am at the mercy of my spectacles. I am looking at potentially getting my lenses replaced using that new lens operation that they do. But until then, something like this is going to be perfect, because I'll be able to keep my glasses in there. So I'll pop it on, and we'll just have a look, see what it's like to pop on. Now, bear in mind, I'm wearing a t-shirt, Normally if I'm doing this, I'm wearing something that's got protection down my arms because I don't want to get bit by ticks or anything. And quite often here in the UK it's usually inclement weather. So what I tend to do is have a jacket or something like that. Now if you're wearing a jacket, you're probably going to want to adjust all of these straps out, but it is what it is for now. I'll just show you how it connects. So it's pretty much the same as most glass packs, harnesses. You click it in, he says, famous last words. And then tighten it up. So here, the way I would probably have this configured is once I have, let me just bring that down and then you'll be able to see a little bit better. So once I have my binos out, more often than not I want to keep them out. And so what I'm going to do is attach basically a couple of connectors to this, and then I'll probably attach them up here onto these, and that will allow me to have them dangled out so that I can bring them up, use them, and then just let them go. At the moment there isn't that facility with these, and a lot of people probably do just pop them back in, but it's not in my habit, and usually when I'm doing something outdoor activity wise, it's normally about habits. But when it's on, it is pretty easy to take your thermal. What I probably will do is I'll take my neoprene lanyard and connect this to it so that I can effectively just leave that to drop if I need to bring the rifle up and get it into an aim position quickly. I don't want to be faffing around with that. So what I probably will do is whip that off, and then we'll take this and use it as a quick detach facility. It's quite useful. It works really well. I don't know what it'd be like once it gets a little bit of mud on, but until I've actually used it, I can't really give it an honest review. But I just thought I'd do a quick video, just show you what it's about and why I picked it up. Price wise, I think they're £110. I got it at show price, which is £99. There are some retailers online which I have seen that are selling this for the £99 price, but you do have shipping and that kind of thing on it. So there's a marginal saving, and for what it's worth, I think it's good value for money. I don't know what that is if you was to want to buy that separate. If you wanted to get the quick detach tool and buy that separate, I should imagine that's about £45. So when you add everything else into it, it's good value, I think. Let me know what you think, if you've got one, if you've used it, if you think they're heavy. It's handy to know, but until I've used it out there, I honestly can't tell you what it's going to be like. But thanks for watching, and until next time, there's no point tickling it.